You read the title correctly. Today I'm going to tell the story of how I almost got into an all-out brawl with a Taco John's employee at the mall. The reason I'm even telling this story in the first place is one, because it's incredibly funny and it's genuinely a really good story, and two, apparently you guys really like listening to me yap. I mean, my yap sessions are going crazy, and I mean the comment section is just so supportive and nice, and you guys apparently just love listening to me talk about random things. So I thought, well, why don't, instead of just talking about random things, what if I talk about like one specific thing that's random, but like I make videos about it. So instead of doing one long video, I just do a bunch of little videos about story times and stuff. So luckily for you guys, this story is actually fresh and brand new. At the time I'm recording this, it happened the day of. Yeah, it happened today at the time that I'm recording this. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So essentially, I was on this trip and it was lunchtime. I was hungry. So I'm looking at the options in this mall and I see a Taco John's and I'm like, man, I haven't had Taco John's in forever. Right. And for those of you that haven't had Taco John's, essentially what it is it's a better Taco Bell, and they have potato olays, which are basically like little mini hash brown bites that put them above Taco Bell by miles, and they are very, very good. So I was like, man, I haven't had Taco John's in ages. I don't even know the last time I've seen a Taco John's, so I'm like, I gotta go here, right? So me and my friends, we go up there. I'm like the last one to order in the group, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get something simple. We're gonna go chicken cheese quesadilla. So I'm like, all right, can I get I think it was a four cheese chicken quesadilla. And the lady at the counter did not speak English very well. She was very hard to understand, but it was pretty simple how the conversation went. She was like, what can I do for you? And I was like, oh, can I get a four cheese chicken quesadilla? And then I was like, let's see, what size potato olays do I want? Because she was like, do you want anything else? And I was like, let's get the medium potato olays. And she's like, do you want nacho cheese? And I was like, no, don't really feel like it. I'm getting the chicken cheese quesadilla. I'll be fine. I didn't say that out loud, obviously, but I was like, no, I'll be fine. And then she was like, all right, is that all? And I'm like, yes, ma'am, it is. And so she rings it up. I get the receipt, whatever, I pay, and I'm walking away. And she's like, your order number's on the ticket. And I was like, okay, sick. So I'm looking at the ticket. I'm reading it as one does. You read your receipt. I guess not everybody does that, but I do. And I was looking at my receipt. It's like, man, $7 for a quesadilla with chicken and potato olays? That's a steal. I'm like, this can't be right. So I'm looking at it. Get down. It says a quesadilla is $3. So I look at the title and it says cheese quesadilla, not chicken and cheese. And so I was like, oh, okay. Man, they messed up my order. That's all right. I'll go back. And I'm like, I only got charged for the cheese quesadilla, so I'll just, adjust the order. I'll just pay for the chicken in it, right? So I go back up to the counter and I wait for the couple that's ordering next in line to get finished. And once they're finished, the lady goes, how can I help you? Or no, no, she didn't even say it like that. It was like, what do you want? Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. It was like, what do you want? And I was like, so on the ticket here it says cheese quesadilla. I was wondering if I could get that changed to a chicken quesadilla. And she goes, I asked you two times if you wanted chicken. You said no. And I was like, I was caught off guard. I was like, whoa, this lady just started yelling at me. I was like flabbergasted. I was stunned. I had never had a fast food employee just genuinely just yell at me before. And I kind of gave her the look like, lady, are you crazy? I just asked for a chicken quesadilla. Are you okay? And I'm like, okay, apparently this lady thinks she asked me twice, but all she asked, that was everything I wanted. And if I wanted nacho cheese, I'm like, where did the nacho cheese come from? I don't know, but I didn't want it. It was an extra $1.20. Anyways, she did not ask for the chicken, FYI, and if she did, it ultimately at the end of this story, by the time I get to the end, it does not matter, as you will find out. But essentially, then it just gets worse. She grabs the iPad at the desk and she points it towards me, the little like tablet ordering thing. She says, "This is the tablet. It shows you what you order. You should have seen what the order was before you walked away and took your receipt." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "This lady's telling me how an iPad works." I'm like, "I know how an iPad works." And she's pointing at it. She's like, "This shows what you ordered. It said cheese quesadilla. You should have seen this." And I was like, "Okay, lady, I might be dumb, but you do not need to explain to me how an iPad works, okay?" And at this point, I'm like fuming mad, all right, because I already was a little upset that I got robbed of my chicken quesadilla and that I had to go back up and build up the courage to ask this employee for a chicken quesadilla instead of a cheese quesadilla, of which I was delightfully glad to pay for because I was a Taco John's enthusiast. But then this lady just starts yelling at me. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I came up here nice and polite. I asked for a chicken quesadilla, and bro just starts yelling. Apparently, I like offended her bloodline with this statement, right? The chicken quesadilla was never in the cards. It must be like the forbidden menu item there. She did not like it. So then I was like, dang, okay, I'm not dealing with this lady. So I walk away. And one of my friends watched it happen. And she was like, what happened over there? And I'm like, they gave me the wrong thing. I asked for a chicken quesadilla and they gave me a cheese one. And I literally just went up there to ask, and this lady just went off on me. Okay, I guess she's mad over something. She was so mad. I've never genuinely been yelled at by an employee somewhere because there's no reason to, because I'm never giving them a reason to yell at me, right? I thought I was very nice and polite. So I went back and sat down and told the rest of my friends about that story. And one of my friends who works at Subway, he was quite curious at this. He was kind of intrigued that this lady would do this because obviously he works in the food service industry and it's just extremely abnormal. And I was like, yeah, I just asked for the chicken quesadilla instead of the cheese one. She just went off on me. And he's like, huh, that's weird. And he's like, I'll go up there and I'll go change for you. And he's like, no, no, no. She went off. She's giving me that cheese quesadilla. I'm just gonna go. I guess order from another restaurant across the mall because I saw another restaurant that I could get some food from that I'd be fine with. And I'm like, I'll just buy another meal. In which he responds, oh, all right, if you want me to go up there and ask, I will. I'm like, all right, I'll keep it in mind. So after that, we wait about probably like 10 minutes. No, no, it wasn't that long. It was a little bit of time. It was enough to notice that there's like a wait, right? But it wasn't like excruciatingly long. And then my order number is 2037. Keep this in mind. That's very important. 2037. And the lady at the front desk calls 2038. And I was like, did they just skip over my order? Does 2037 just not exist? But I'm like, okay, maybe their order was like easier to make or whatever. She's like, order 2038, cheese quesadilla, potato olays. And I was like, that's exactly what I got. Well, exactly what it was going to be handed to me, whether I liked it or not. I asked for the chicken one, but obviously I was going to get the cheese one. So I was aware of that. But yeah, they handed this chick the potato olays and cheese quesadilla, but the number was after mine, and this was the girl that was behind me in line. So they served the person behind me first, and I was kind of like, oh, dang, okay. And I told my friend about that, the one that worked at Subway, and he's like, huh, that's interesting. And then the lady gets on the thing again. She goes, order 2038. And at this point, I'm like, no, no, wait a minute. She just called 2038 because that's the number after me. She called 2038 twice. And the same girl that just got her food comes back up there and grabs another bag from the lady. The lady at the front desk does not realize that she's just given out another bag to the same exact person. She called 2038 twice and gave the same girl a different bag of food. And that already wasn't enough of a red flag for her because she didn't notice. But then I was kind of like, okay, now something's up. They served 2038 twice. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go get in line. I'm gonna go get food from elsewhere. I'm just gonna forget about it. It was $7. It's annoying, but whatever. They don't have my food. And if they did, they were probably gonna spit in it. So I was out of there. But then my friend was like, no, I got this. I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna go sweet talker. I'm good at talking to people like this. This is what I do. So I'm gonna go up there. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead, go for it. Because what do I have to lose, right? I'm getting food from a other place. I don't want to talk to her, so let him do it. See if we can maybe get some potato olays out of this deal. So he walks up there, starts sweet talking her, and now I gotta transition to his point of view because during this time I am at the cheesesteak line getting a cheesesteak, and essentially from his point of view, he goes, "Excuse me, ma'am. So on the receipt here it says 2037 and 2038 just got called twice, and we've been here for about 20 minutes, and my order hasn't been out yet." To which she politely responds, "I already served 2037." And so my friend was like, thinking like, whoa, whoa, Nelly, okay, let's calm down a little bit. And she was insisting that she served 2037. She was getting all up on him. She was like, I served 2037. I already served it. It was the quesadilla and the potato olays. I already served it. And then she was like looking at the board. She was like pointing at us like, see, I served 2037. And My friend was like, well, we clearly don't have our food and we still have the ticket number, so we were not served. And they were just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And finally, the lady just gives up and is like, "Fine." And then she runs back to the back of the kitchen. She's like, I made 2037 already, but go ahead and make it again. And so the cooks start making 2037 again. Well, while this is happening, the girl's boyfriend walks up to me, the girl that got both the bags of food, and is like, "Hey, you were in front of us in line, and this right here is not her food." And I look in it. It's a cheese quesadilla and potato olays, and he goes, "Yeah, she didn't order potato olays, so this must be yours." And I was like, "This is mine. This is my food." And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, she called 2038 twice. Why is this a thing?" And so I get my cheesesteak and I walk over to my friend who's just looks absolutely disgusted on his face, and he's just so ticked off. And I'm like, "Oh no, this is not good. If he's mad at something, it's bad, right?" And I was like, "Dude, just cut it out. It's not worth it anymore. We got the food. It's right here." She called 2038 twice. He's like, "I knew it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know she called 2038 twice. She gave the same person two bags of food at separate times and called the same number. Like, of course she did." And so he yelled at her to stop making the food. Whatever, we walked back to our seat. Well, apparently, while the girl's boyfriend was giving me that bag of food, um, my friend was up at the counter, and when she was coming back up from telling the kitchen to make the meal again, she muttered something under her breath, and my friend was like, "Excuse me, what was that?" And then she just like waves him off and like shoos him off, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And when he told me that, I was like, "This lady cannot be real." So as I'm sitting down eating my food, I look up, and she's over there in the window staring me down, like death stare, and she's just locked onto me, and I'm like, "Guys, I think that lady's looking at me." And they all look over. It's kind of like the "don't look now," but, and then everybody's like looking over, and yeah, no, there she was. She death stared me for the entire time I ate my cheesesteak. She was staring at me, and you know what? We were thinking about sparring a little bit, brawling a little bit. She had that look in her eyes. She was like, "You want some? Come and get it." I was like, "Why I gotta wind up the punch and send it like this, like in a cartoon, like Popeye." We were about to spar. I'm not even kidding. I mean, this lady was asking for it, and after the whole chicken quesadilla incident, I'm like, okay, as a fast food employee for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, it might be multi-millions. Taco John's isn't as big. If someone is asking to pay to add chicken to the quesadilla, it's probably easier to just add it. And that wasn't even the only thing. Like the chicken quesadilla wasn't even much of the problem. The same thing would have happened if I got the chicken quesadilla in the first place, because she still would have goofed up the numbers. She called 2038 twice and refused to admit it and did not see anything with, like, she fully believed, even like by the time that she had like got them to remake the meal and by the time we had left, she firmly believed that she had called 2037 and 2038. And we have a whole room of witnesses. We have the girl herself with two bags of food, which of one was mine. It's just absolutely absurd. I genuinely never, ever in my life have had any employee of any kind be that bad. I mean, I've never written a review online. This was the first time that I actually hopped on Google and wrote down this entire story and put it in a comment and gave it 1 stars. I mean, I've never been more mad in my life. Like in that moment, it took everything out of me to not just jump the counter and just start going ham on it. Man, my blood was boiling, dude. I was ready to go down right then, right there. Also, I mean, I already mentioned this, but she had just a terrible accent. I have no idea what it even was. It was just impossible to understand. But I know for a fact that there were not more than two questions she asked, because I knew the two questions she asked. It was, "Do you want nacho cheese?" And "Is that all for you?" That's two questions right there. And I understood both of those. And even if both of those were the "Do you want chicken on your quesadilla?" That's not how it works, because I knew what the questions were. They couldn't be that. Like it's physically impossible. It's either she's schizophrenic, she woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't know. I've never dealt with a person as angry and as incompetent as her. And it takes a lot for me to get on here and say that because I genuinely like, I feel for people. I understand like if you're having a bad day or like, you know, some like you're having a bad week, bad month, you're stuck in a rough spot in life. Like I understand. You come in there, somebody, asks for another order. It might be a little annoying, right? But this is like on a whole nother level. She took this too far. She was willing to risk her life, risk her job to fight this kid that comes in here and asks for a chicken quesadilla. She was ready to lose it all just to prove a point in which she was wrong and proven wrong on every single point, and then still by the time we left, she believed that she was in the right. So, anyways, moral of the story: do not go to Taco John's located in a mall. I'm not gonna say which mall it is, but just don't do it because it might be the mall that I went to. That's a bad idea. So don't do that because she might be working there and she has it out for everybody apparently. Little fun fact: we were gonna go stuff the cheese quesadilla in her tip jar near the end, but we decided that we have stronger morals than that. Barely, kinda, maybe not, but anyways, I hope you all enjoyed today's story time. Let me know if you want to see more story times because I got plenty more stories where that came from. I've got a plethora of stories and I can yap for hours about this. So yeah, if you want to see me do this, if you want to see me just yap about random stuff again, I could do any of that. You guys just let me know because I'm following you guys' suggestions. You guys like the yapping content. You guys like just me sitting down and talking and telling stories and talking about my life. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want to see. And yeah, thank you all for watching to the very end. Your support means a lot. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.